Macquarie University is a different university. We started out as a different university, and we aim to start out now with your stay here as we mean to keep going. 50 years ago this June, an Act of Parliament was created in New South Wales to create Sydney's third university. A university, if you read the original documentation, founded to be different. The original aspiration set by the founding fathers of this university was to create a Stanford of the South Pacific, a university on freehold land beside a technology corridor. And we have come a long way to realise that aspiration, but your arrival here today is just as much the need for us to start out all over anew again and lead you and help you on a journey of difference that I hope, as higher education has done for me, will provide each and every one of the young people here today, or the middle-aged folks, or the older folks who are starting with us, with an opportunity to change their lives as a result of the gift of education. During my first year here, the university community has come together to plan a far horizon future for Macquarie University. We've come a long way in those 50 short years, but if you look at universities around the world, we are in fact some of the most ancient organisations of organised society. If you leave aside the Roman Catholic Church, some of the Islamic institutions, the parliaments of Iceland and another couple of countries, 6 cantons in Switzerland, universities are the oldest institutions in the world that have existed in many ways then as they do now, but we have also evolved dramatically since those early days of universities. And in that process of planning for the far horizon of what Macquarie University might become, we have set our course to be, for the long haul, a university of service and engagement. That service is about providing transformational learning and life experiences for our students and for our staff. That service is also being a servant of society in helping to answer big questions that the world faces today on this campus, in the city of Ryde, the city of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, and around the world. But also to provide a platform to launch students who come in here to cope in the world ahead for the rest of their lives, no matter what happens. No matter what happens with their family, no matter what happens with the society in which they live, no matter what happens in the world. That is our job. And we do that and aspire to do that by engaging, by very deep engagement, which we have charted for our future, with individuals, with communities, with organisations, businesses, governments, and stakeholders around the world. You are about to embark upon, I hope, one of the most transformational times of your lives as students at Macquarie University. Many, many years ago, I was not in a room like this, being welcomed to the university. My parents were not with me because I come from rural Australia. And I started at the university across town, that one that has a few sandstone bricks that's very eminent, and I love it dearly, but I'm glad I'm here at Macquarie University. You can make whatever you like out of that comment. The trajectory today in university is very different, but my early university career, as Dee mentioned, I'm a physician by training. The education that I was afforded and the support of my family provided access for me to a career pathway that has been quite extraordinary. Incredibly privileged existence that I have had to have started as a first-year student back some years ago, and to just give you a snapshot of what life has been, to have worked and lived in many countries around the world. Most recently, I returned for the second time from the United States to assume a senior position in Australia. And my work before I came back to Australia then involved working in countries all over the world around health systems, new medical schools, nursing schools, universities, not just in countries that you would know a lot about, but in countries that you would perhaps not know so much about, places like Kazakhstan and Libya and Oman and the Dominican Republic and so on, as well as India and China and the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and so on. But I've come back to this wonderful university, which does provide an extraordinary opportunity, I believe, for a launchpad. We, and it's not me, and the reason I started out up there, back there, is we, all of us, the team that supports our work here, are part of the community. We are not set apart. We are not different. When I think about my day today, I had the most diverse array of things in my day today. I was at a meeting downtown of the New South Wales Vice Chancellors where we talked about everything from superannuation guarantees to entry standards for teaching programs in universities, a whole raft of other issues about government red tape reduction by the New South Wales State Government. I then went to a wonderful lunch with 8 headmasters or principals from schools that some of you no doubt attended downtown, where we discussed a range of things around ATARs and what they mean and what they don't mean and how valuable they are and how valuable they are not. We talked about curriculum here. We talked about what their schools are aspiring to be and do and what we are aspiring to be and do as a university. I then met with the director of our teaching program in Hong Kong. We teach a business school program in Hong Kong. He was in town, half an hour with him, multiple phone calls in between. Then on to meet with 2 senior bankers from Australia who run an investment fund that helps research as a foundation. A meeting with my Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research about some of our centres of excellence downtown, and then to a law firm about a complex matter involving industrial issues. And then after that, at 6 o'clock, I came to work. So my day starts now. And this is the absolute uplift of my day. In the middle of all of that, standing here and seeing you makes it all worthwhile, because we are about engaging with the task at hand, which is a shared task. It's a transition point. And the little stunt I did from speaking up the back to start with is just to make a point. It is different. Being in university is different than being in school, and that's okay. We're all real people. We will respond as real people. These wonderful folks who are spread around the audience here, who are a fabulous support team, that are here to help you navigate your way through how to enter into a transitional phase for many of you, moving from some ways the security of being at home, of being in an environment where there is regimentation in a school environment, probably not as much as I experienced, but it's still, compared to what you'll have here, a little more order and structure, to that transition point that is, for some families, a tough one. Tough for students and tough for parents and family. And that's okay. We collectively are here to help you through that and to make it one of the most exciting times of your life. When I look back with all the things I've done, and I have had an extraordinary set of opportunities afforded to me through life, so much of it comes from the experiences of being a university student and learning how to transit from the security of a home environment where the rules may be set and adhered to variably, but the structure is a little more than it is now, into an environment where there was choice. There was choice to decide about work and play, and the balance be between those. And some of my colleagues made wise choices. Some of my colleagues slowed their choices down, and that's fine if one needs to do that to get on the journey of life. Because as I said at the outset, I look at our job as university leaders, as professors, administrators, support folks in an environment like ours, a huge community, 40,000 students, thousands of staff, wonderful facilities. Our job is to facilitate this step on the pathway of reaching true independence, to be servants of the world. I personally come out of a value system which looks at leadership as servanthood. My job here is to serve this institution, and that job is profoundly about making sure that you all get a launch here and your families are comfortable that you are in an environment where if things start to get a bit shaky along the way, or you need a bit of advice or whatever, that there'll be folks around to help you out. And that's what tonight's all about. For me to offer you the warmest of welcomes as Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, and to hope that your stay here with us will be as abidingly good for you personally and as a family as my education has been for me. It has been an extraordinary privilege for me as a human being to be able to live in a world where I can sometimes make a little difference to folks' lives. I regard that as high privilege. That privilege for me started with a wonderful family who was supportive and education. The rest is history. So welcome to you all tonight. Dee, thank you so much. Thank you.